our first football game, we have to take a written test on all the history of Penn State to make sure that, like, if someone asks us questions, like, we know when the university was founded. We know the head coach of every every sports team. Things like that.
That's super interesting.
We have to know all the words to all of the fight songs, because if we're on TV, like, we have to make sure we're saying the right words.
Yeah.
Episode 3 of the pod, we have 3 cheerleaders from Penn State's team right here. Today we're going to learn about what goes into cheerleading. You know, it's honestly a mystery for me. We get all the football games and basketball games. You guys are everywhere.
Yeah.
Either way. Let's start off with a quick introduction going around.
I'm Jordan Westbrook, and I'm a senior on the co-ed cheer team here.
I'm Jadyn Reinhart. I'm also a senior on the all-girl team.
And I'm Reagan Phillips. I'm a junior on the all-girl team.
Sweet. I'm Mason. I'm not on a cheer team. That's cool, though. All right. Well, honestly, what inspired you guys to start cheer?
So a cheer gym opened up down the street from my house when I was 4 years old, and my parents just stuck me in it to get me out of the house and to get me there. And I hated it at first, but now here we are.
4 years old. Wow.
Yeah.
For me, I was always playing softball and stuff growing up, and would be doing cartwheels in the outfield. My parents are like, we need to get her into something else. That's how I got into cheerleading, and yeah.
And for me, I was playing soccer and basketball, and basically I started getting older, and they're like, oh, you're a little short, you know?
Oh my goodness.
You're a little short. And then my parents were like, let's try something else. And then here I am.
So, what's the process of applying to, a D1 school for cheer? Is Penn State unique in that way, or?
Yeah, it is. So, you reach out to them around, your sophomore or junior year and say, I'm interested. You send them some videos. It's kind of also like a recruiting process. So, you send them videos, you see if they're interested, and if they are, then they'll sign you, probably around your junior or senior year.
All right.
There's also, we do, clinics and stuff where recruits will come and, get to stunt with the team and kind of, get their foot in the door a little bit. We've done, probably 5 or 6 this year already.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people show up, hundreds of girls. It's crazy.
So, I started coming to clinics, my freshman year of high school. You meet the coaches, you go up to them, you're always like, hi, I'm Jordan Westbrook, I want to try out, nice to meet you. And you always just, keep trying to make sure that they know who you are.
So, is it based off, skills that, you can do, others can't? What separates individuals? Are they looking for positions, too? I mean, there's so many stuff that
there's, I feel a lot goes into it. Positions, definitely, depending on, what seniors graduated the year before, what positions they're looking to fill. Because, at the end of the day, we have normally, 5 stunt groups. So, if you're not fitting into one of those 5 stunt groups, then even if you are really good, there just might not be a spot on you for the team.
Yeah, we have girls that come with, the most amazing talent I've ever seen. And if, there's not a spot for them, there's, not much you can do for that.
Interesting.
And that even varies. It's not every single person on our team might not be the most elite skilled cheerleader you've ever met, but sometimes they're better at game day and doing the dances, or they have a better personality. Yeah. It's not necessarily all just about what skills you can do.
Can we break down what a stunt team is?
Yeah, for sure. So there's 4 people in an all-girls stunt. So there's the flyer, who is the girl that goes up. The main base is who is on the right side base who's on the left side, and then the back spot, usually the taller girl, she's in the back.
But then for me, I'm on co-ed, so it's just a boy throwing just me. So 1 boy, 1 girl, and there's normally about, 12 pairs on a team.
Do you, try to stay as a group through school, or do you change partners a lot? Do you get kind of, how's the relationship with your, team or partner?
Yeah, they do start to change. For football season, we pretty much kept the same groups all throughout the season. Because then you, work towards skills, and you, are confident in doing the skills, with the people you work best with. But, today was our first practice back to in the spring, and we got all new groups.
Yeah,
so
and
that's tough,
even for me, I switched stunt partners halfway through the season, and you just do what's best for you at that. The coaches know what's going to work best at that moment, and you just go with it.
Yeah, and they can pull you out of a group mid-season, put you in another group, and you just have to learn how to adjust with that group. And everyone is different at stunting, everyone.
Yeah, I gotta believe, because my mom's a cheer coach.
Oh really?
Oh no way!
That's awesome.
In high school, so my sister loves to cheer.
I bet she does.
It's her number one. Yeah, but is there any scholarships too, or anything like that?
Yeah, so Penn State cheer doesn't give out too much scholarships, but most schools I don't think really do.
Yeah,
cheer
doesn't really do
since
that
cheer's not necessarily an NCAA official regulated sport, they can't really give us money towards athletics, but we do occasionally get money through academics, and sometimes it's more than others.
Yeah, and so Penn State, what the scholarship that we get is if you have above a 3.0, you get some money, which is nice. But it is hard because you have to maintain academics just in order to get that scholarship.
And of course, in the cheer team, you get like full athlete status through the university. Like, what kind of benefits is that?
I wouldn't say full athlete status, but we do get
Interesting,
use of the Morgan Academic Center, which is the athlete like tutor center that you can go and do homework. It's really nice, quiet, and like not too like overpopulated. Sometimes like the hub or the library is.
I would say like the biggest thing is we get priority scheduling. So scheduling our classes, we get to schedule before anyone else, which is super nice.
That
Yeah.
is nice.
Especially like all of us have pretty popular majors where like I don't know, the classes book out so fast and we schedule like probably 3 weeks before everyone else.
Yeah,
That is nice.
it is nice. It's super nice, and then also like just
Gear.
like gear for
That's
sure.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Backpack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the puffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of our travel is free when we go to away games
we do
or
get
the
stipends.
basketball tournaments or
Yeah.
nationals. It's all
I mean,
paid
like
for.
getting paid to go have fun with your friends is like awesome. Like through the stipends that you get, like we get money to like eat and stuff like that. That's awesome.
True. Has NIL changed anything for you guys, or not really as quite as much as other sports?
Not as much as other sports, only because whenever you sign a contract to sign for like basketball or football or hockey, you have to sign saying that you weren't profiting off of your name, your image, and your likeliness. But now they sign a contract that lets them do that, where since cheer isn't a sport, we never had to sign anything like that. So
in the first place.
we kind of all have been able to profit off of cheerleading.
Oh, regardless.
Before that, yeah.
Do any of you guys have any like sponsorships or?
I've done some like campus ambassador stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like it's through cheer, but I would say like I got like
Yeah,
being Penn
helps.
State
Oh, it's
cheer.
part of your
helps.
resume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Right.
it's been fun. Like I did Mountain Dew Energy last semester, and this semester I'm doing Doritos. So it's cool. I just like
Yeah, that's.
I just
Yeah.
do like tables around school and like
Yeah.
promote Doritos, but I get a bunch of free stuff, so it's awesome.
Mhm.
The Mountain Dew one was crazy.
That
It
one was crazy.
It was 12 4-packs a month.
Like our entire
no.
stairwell was
Yeah,
always
like,
full of cases. It was
Yeah.
I think we
insane.
like still have them back there.
Yeah.
Because I know the infamous cheer house.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the situation now?
The cheer house is awesome, but it just is like, since they're all seniors, they're graduating, we have people still moving in, but it used to be 2 floors now, it's only 1.
Yeah.
So we have like random guys living below us.
But it's seriously probably one of the best things
Yeah.
to happen to me. Like living with 7 of my best friends
Oh
and just
my
like
goodness.
always being together. We're all on the same schedule. That like there's no place on earth I think I love more than Cheer House.
And those like cheer
True.
house gatherings, parties,
Yeah.
they'll be like memories that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
what's like the relationship of the team members, like the guys and the girls, and like because usually they give a hockey team or like whatever other team, but usually just one gender. Like you have
Yeah.
guys. too.
Yeah, we have both. I mean,
It
I would
is
say it's
definitely
awesome.
different. Especially for me, like I grew up pretty much cheering with just girls. So like coming to college, like it was a different dynamic cheering with like boys on my team. But like I feel like the dynamic definitely changed whenever we were freshmen of like being close with the
Yeah.
co-ed team.
yeah, co-ed and all girl used to be very like separate. Like they were one team, but they were separate entities. But now like co-ed and all girl are so close. And
Yeah, they're, like,
seriously
dating
like
each
the
other,
boys.
so.
Yeah, yeah, we do have like a couple on our team.
relationships, and like that's always
That's
fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys can speak on though. I know like pro cheerleaders for these pro football teams are way different than college because you guys compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about the competition aspect of it because I
Yes,
think that's
for sure.
cool.
So there's different divisions too. Like there's game day, and then there's also traditional. Traditional is more like the tumbling, the stunting, like what you'd expect competitive cheerleading to be like. Then there's also game day divisions where it's like a fight song, a sideline, a timeout routine,
And that's
which
like,
is more like what you see in Beaver Stadium.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So they're both really fun divisions.
So
but
in the
also different.
competition, they name the things based off football halftime,
Kind of, yes. Like,
football timeouts.
yeah,
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, sort of.
Interesting.
That's a funny take on it, but for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because actually at the competition, like they'll do like there's situational sidelines. So like we went down there having an offense version and a defense version. Then the announcer over the like speaker will say like that's a stop for the defense, and you have to know to call like the defense version. So it's like getting you used to like a game day environment.
That
essentially.
is cool.
And we
Yeah.
switch all of our signs and all of our words depending on whoever on the loudspeaker says a defensive or an
So our
offensive
signs will
play.
say like hold that line on one side, you switch them, move that ball. So like
Yeah.
it's like situational and preparing you like
and
I
where
said, for
and where do
game.
you go for the competition?
So we go to Orlando, Florida, and it's really cool because we all grew up like cheering in different places. So we have friends who cheer at different colleges. So that's like the one time a year where we can go and see our friends that like cheer at different colleges and compete against them.
Like
Yeah.
everyone's there, right?
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
Oh
a
my
bunch of
goodness.
it, like
Like every
every college
college.
you think
D1,
of is
D3,
there.
and like you would be surprised, like someone like the D3 schools are like the best schools at cheerleading.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, like Moorhead. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Where does
Kentucky.
Penn State rank this year?
I would say
This year, like our traditional routine got 8th and our game day routine got 12th.
Wow.
So it's pretty good for us.
Yeah, it is good.
We always say, like, Penn State cheer is such, like, you're not coming there to necessarily win a national championship.
No.
You're coming to cheer, like, in front of 100.
And we are all so okay with that. Like, we all
Absolutely.
knew that getting into this, that, like, we want to cheer in front of 110,000 people. Like, we won our national championships. We competed and did that in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I gotta bring up too is like I know that like our mascot Nindy Line's
Yeah.
tied to the cheer team. Like,
Yes. Yeah, he's
is
awesome.
that all schools or like how
Yeah.
is this?
So, like, in the game day division, he competes with us. He's on the mat with us for
Yeah.
our entire routine. He comes to our practices, learns our
Dances,
routine.
Yeah.
He's in the whole thing.
Jeez.
He also competes, like, in his own division. Like, all
Yeah,
there's a mascot division, and
which
they
is
all,
really
like,
cool.
do it
He
together.
did really well this year.
He
got
did
6,
really well.
yeah.
He got 6th.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's a really, really difficult, just, like, division.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, that is cool. I mean, again, like, not like people see you guys on the field, but never think about everything that goes like
Yeah,
behind
like
it.
I don't think like one person like knows in my life besides like that we actually go to like competitions.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Why are you going to Florida?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm competing," and they're like, "You do that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah."
Well,
They
so-
don't realize how much actual athleticism goes into it. They kind
True.
of think we're just there, like, waving and being, like, a smile on the screen and, like,
Yeah.
looking pretty, but there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
Can you like walk us through like I say a day of the week? Is it different between fall and spring? Obviously,
Yeah,
'cause
yes,
fall's
definitely.
football, but like yeah, give us a little walk.
It's a lot more competitive, I would say. Like in the fall, we have practices a lot more because we're preparing not only for football, but we're also preparing for nationals, and then basketball will start up too in like the late fall. So it's just like a lot of like cheering for different sports. We have volleyball too, and
Hockey,
then
like-
hockey.
Yeah, there's that one
Men's
period
and
where
women's basketball.
there's a period of time where football, men's, women's basketball, hockey, volleyball, and nationals are all overlapping.
So we're all-
So we essentially have 5
goodness.
different things we're preparing for at once.
How much time a week is that? Like
I would say it's a big time commitment in the fall. Like you can't be doing a lot of other stuff with your
is
life.
practice 2 hours?
It's two and
2
a
and a
half
half.
hours, like 3 days.
4 days a week
Yeah.
in the fall.
Alright.
But in the spring, it lightens up a bit because obviously, like, we only have basketball, and a lot of the skills that we can do at on a football field or on the nationals mat, we can't really do at basketball because
True.
it's considered like illegal and you're not
Hard
allowed
surface,
to.
yeah.
So
Hard surface.
in the spring, we
Oh,
only
jeez.
practice twice, and they're much lighter, normally easier practices.
And I was gonna say too, like, what sport would you recommend people to go to besides football? Because you guys been to them all, right? Like, what's a hype
Yeah.
sport that like no one really knows about at Penn State?
I feel like hockey. Like,
Yes.
hockey games are so much fun.
Yeah.
The hockey games are a lot of fun.
I just cheered because like we are all on a rotation and I don't usually cheer wrestling, but like that was insane. Like that was crazy, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and that was my first time really genuinely watching like wrestling up close, front row. You know,
And like
seeing-
a good men's basketball game. Like you just cheered the Wisconsin
Yeah.
one where they stormed the court.
that was
like,
my first time ever seeing
that is so cool.
people like storm the court, and I've wanted that like all like 3 years I've been here, so
I
that was
know.
awesome.
We always say we wish more people went to basketball because Jadyn and I have cheered a lot of very cool basketball games. We cheered March Madness last year, and like when you're in those environments where basketball is the most important thing, they are so much fun. But sometimes when you're cheering a women's basketball game on a Sunday morning, a lot of people aren't there, so it's not the same energy, and we wish
Yeah.
it was.
I mean, that's all things though. Even
Yeah.
like a noon game for football.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
true, yeah.
That is
like,
true.
doesn't
Not like a
matter.
prime time, like, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it makes sense because I mean, students are always like busy. You're always busy doing something.
Yeah.
It could be sitting on your phone, sleeping,
Yeah.
doing homework. But everyone's busy doing something.
Yeah.
But people should be busy going to these games.
Yeah,
exactly.
seriously.
Spirit. I'm
Because the
all about
environment would be so much better if like
Yes.
the BJC was
So
packed.
if you're
'Cause
not
it really
doing
is
anything
cool.
on men's or women's basketball, come
Yeah.
out to the games, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what else could you talk about cheer? Like, what's your best experience that you could like reflect back on?
I just kind of briefly mentioned it, but March Madness, like Jadyn and I cheered it last March, I think it was, and obviously, but
Yeah.
that was one of the coolest experiences ever. I think it's been over 10 years since Penn State's gone, so it was a really big deal. All of the pep rallies and alumni events leading up to it, like that was an experience that is unlike anything else.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I would say the Peach Bowl, we just cheered that, and that was like everything in Atlanta. Like all the events were like 3,000 plus Penn Staters there. Like it was one of those things where you just looked around and you're like, this is such a cool like university to be a part of. Like so many good people like that are just like so passionate about Penn State and Penn State football in general. It was really cool to be around. I would say that.
Yeah,
For sure.
I would say this past year I cheered the Michigan State away game, and that was at Ford Field. So that was awesome, like to be like at an NFL field, like cheering a game. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
we had like like policemen escort from us from like the alumni event to the field. So just like, you know, you feel like famous, and it's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like we learned so much. Like honestly, we learned so much about cheer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like honestly, we could have ended on that note too. That was perfect. I love that.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, thanks. Well, yeah, guys, thanks for coming on. Thanks for teaching me about cheer. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, you guys are the best. Thanks.
Of course.